Sneezy. Sneezy McBreezy. Aw, spit, something happened already. Like it was just a stalled vehicle and not actually an accident. So we're still safe. Yo.
This one is small, are very unusual in the British political system. We have a party-based system. It's very tribal. People are very loyal to their party leader, to their party brand, and in particular to the people that work for them in local associations. So the parties don't fragment in this way.
And so after 2 tense years of negotiations over Brexit, what is it that has happened now to cause this unusual breakaway?
There are quite a number of things. Brexit isn't the only factor. I mean, Brexit clearly is important because the Prime Minister is 2.5 years into her negotiation and there's a feeling that she's getting nowhere. Most of these MPs, both on the Labour and the Conservative side, really want to have a second referendum to try and revisit the decision that was made in 2016. They've always wanted that, and as we reach a kind of denouement, they basically decided to press the button and leave their parties altogether. So that's one factor, but there's also another, which is that the Labour Party, led by Jeremy Corbyn, looks institutionally anti-Semitic, and there are other factors as well. It's very much an old-style socialist, and so the Labour MPs in that party don't want to stay.
Does this new group have a united set of demands or principles that you mentioned, the desire for a new Brexit referendum? Do they have a platform?
Yeah, they have. I mean, they're very much in the centre ground of politics, if you like. They stand for a moderate, pragmatic politics, and one which isn't driven by ideology. It's unclear exactly whether they do come together on a lot of issues. At the end of the day, the ones from Labour are rather more social democratic. The ones from the Conservative Party are perhaps a little more wedded to the free market. I mean, they don't really form what you would think of as a united, coherent party yet. But these are early days. What they really need now is some really big hitters in politics, people at ministerial or even cabinet level, shadow cabinet level on both sides, coming to their ranks. If they start doing that, then they're really going to get momentum. How likely do you think that is? It's really hard to say. There is certainly a very serious dissension within the Labour Party and Jeremy Corbyn. There's no doubt about that. He is like an unmovable object. He's really an almost extremist figure that doesn't represent anything like the mainstream view of MPs. So the chances of more Labour MPs coming over is high. On the Conservative side, yes, there are quite a number of MPs, I count them at about 10 to 15, who probably want a second referendum. But that's a much smaller number. The Conservatives are generally more wedded to the principle of Brexit, so fewer will come from there.
I don't think anybody would have said that there was a high likelihood of a second referendum. Does the formation of this one make it more likely?
No, at this stage, if we're going to have a second referendum, Mr. Corbyn has to decide that he's going to back it and that he's going to win his 265 MPs behind it. That's what's needed. I don't think there's any other way of going to get it. Now, that might descend into really absolute chaos. It's not impossible. Chaos is ultimately the engine that moves us towards a second referendum, but it really is the very last card that's played in the entire Brexit process, so I wouldn't completely write it off yet, but it's less likely than more likely.
James Blitz of Financial Times, thanks so much for joining us once again.
Of course.
As ISIS loses the last of its territory in Syria, some of the Westerners who went there to support the group are now trying to return home. Those Westerners include a woman who says she grew up in Alabama, putting on once supported ISIS, but she told ABC News this.
I hope they excuse me because of how young and I was, and I can tell them that now I've changed, and now I'm a mother, and now I have none of the ideology, and hopefully everyone will see it when I get back.
The State Department said today it will not let her back into the U.S. And there are other Western women and children being held in camps in Syria. NPR's Ruth Sherlock was recently in one of those camps. She joins me now. Hey, Ruth.
Hello.
Hi. So President Trump he's called on other countries, European countries, to bring home captured ISIS fighters and put them on trial. The U.S. could presumably do the same here. Why is the administration saying it will not let Hoda Matata back into the U.S.?
Saying that she doesn't have a legal basis, a valid passport, or a travel visa to the United States. And President Trump has tweeted that he's talked with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and said that she should not be allowed into the country. Now, it's not quite clear what the basis of this is. She and her family say that she's from Alabama. So, it all remains to be seen. Yeah.
There's some confusion then over exactly what her passport and citizenship status is.
That's exactly right. What we do know is that she travelled to Syria 4 years ago from Alabama. What she says, she travelled to Syria 4 years ago from Alabama to join ISIS. And she got married there to 3 ISIS fighters and had a son. The New York Times reports that she used social media to call for attacks on Americans. But now she says that she regrets joining ISIS and would like to return back to the United States.
Now this comes as other countries are grappling with what to do with people coming home from the war in Syria. The United Kingdom just revoked the citizenship of a woman who went to Syria. Who is she? What's her story?
So she's called Shamima Begum, and she's one of 3 girls that left when they were teenagers from Britain to Syria in 2015. Begum was just 15 when she went to join ISIS. They're known as the Bethnal Green Girls after the part of London that they came from. So she's now also detained in this camp in Syria, and she said in an interview with the BBC that she hopes Britain will understand that she made a very big mistake. But the British Home Secretary has stripped her of her citizenship and is claiming that she's a threat to Britain.
So for the moment, these women, as we said, are in camps. They
Washington this afternoon, President Trump took questions from reporters as he met with the Chancellor of Austria at the White House. One of the big questions was about Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation and when it might wrap up. NPR national political reporter Mara Liasson joins us with more from the White House. Hi, Mara.
Hi, Ari.
There's a report from CNN today.
It's been unexciting so far.
Yesterday suggesting
it's taken me 13 minutes to get here.
Mueller could turn over his findings to the Justice Department as early as next week. The president was asked about that today. What did he say?
Well, before we get to the president, we should say that there have been a lot of predictions over the last 2 years about when Mueller's investigation might end.
Right.
NPR has not confirmed this reporting, but the president was asked about it, and here's what he said.
That'll be totally up to the new Attorney General. He's a tremendous man, a tremendous person who really respects this country and respects the Justice Department. So that'll be totally up to him.
And the reason why it's totally up to him is because Robert Mueller is not required by law to turn over a report to Congress or the public. He is supposed to give the Attorney General a confidential report when he completes his work, but nothing compels the Attorney General to release it to anyone, including Congress. Now, he is also not running a kind of 9/11 commission. In other words, his job isn't to unravel every mystery and answer every question about what happened. He does have to uncover whether or not crimes were committed.
So if the president says this is totally up to the Attorney General, what has Barr said about whether this is going to be made public or given to Congress?
At his confirmation hearings, Barr said that he would release as much of the report as was possible, according to law and Justice Department policies. Democrats are a little nervous about this. They wanted to hear a more blanket guarantee that he would release the report. But if there is a report from Bob Mueller, there will be tremendous pressure to release it. Polls show that overwhelming majorities of Americans, like 83%, say if there is a Mueller report, it should be released in its entirety. And even prominent Republicans in Congress, like Chuck Grassley and John Cornyn in the Senate, have both said if there's a Mueller report, it will have to be made public.
Well, over the last couple of years, we have heard next to nothing from Mueller himself. Has that changed this week?
No, still radio silence. One thing that's given him so much credibility is that he's not a participant in the partisan Twitter food fights around this investigation. He said very few things. One time the special counsel's office did say something was to knock down that BuzzFeed report that said the president directed Michael Cohen to lie to Congress. His silence has only increased his credibility because the one time he did speak, he was basically shutting down a report or disputing a report that would have been negative to the president. On the other hand, the fact that he hasn't said anything has increased the desire and expectations for a complete, total accounting of what happened, especially from Democrats and even some Republicans who think Mueller might be ready to exonerate the president. They'd like a full accounting too.
Just in our last few seconds, how worried are they at the White House?
Trump has always seen this as a political, not a legal problem. He's not worried about being indicted. He thinks the Justice Department rules against indicting a sitting president will hold. What he's really worried about is impeachment. He wants to undermine the credibility of Mueller so he can dismiss anything Mueller comes up with as a partisan spear.
That's NPR's Mara Liasson at the White House. Thanks, Mara.
Thank you.
And you're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News.
Good afternoon. You're listening to All Things Considered on 89.3 WFPL. I'm Gene West. In his first year, Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner has remade the office with changes to sentencing recommendations, bail, and who to charge. It's also invited controversy. But first, in the final installment of the NPR series, The Women Behind the Songs, Meredith Oates tells the story of Esther Dean, a powerhouse songwriter for today's biggest pop stars. Those stories coming up in this hour of All Things Considered.
Support for 89.3 WFPL comes from AT&T. In the last 3 years, AT&T has invested more than $300 million in its Louisville networks, extending fiber internet service to more than 150,000 area homes and small businesses, and launching 5G service in parts of Louisville. More at kentucky.att.com. From Derby Dinner Playhouse, presenting the Robber Bride Group. A rascally robber of the woods courts Rosamond, the daughter of a rich planter in this country rom filled with bluegrass music and a live band on stage. Tickets at 288-8281 or derbydinner.com.
Tax refunds seem like a huge income bump, but really, you're just getting back what the government owes you, interest-free.
Refunds aren't cool, right? Like, that's your money. they're making this seem that a refund is something magical.
I'm Tyler Risdall, the non-magic of the tax refund next time on Marketplace.
All the day's business news later today at 6:30 on Marketplace on 89.3 WFPL. Sign up for 89.3 WFPL's newsletter for the news we're covering thanks to your support. It arrives in your inbox every morning at 11 a.m. You can sign up at WFPL.org. 49 degrees now. Periods of rain throughout the day. Rain ending tonight. It's 4:20. I'm Gene West.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Zoom. Zoom offers cloud video conferencing, online meetings, and a video conference room solution in one platform, featuring digital video and audio with screen sharing. Account registration and more at...
Man, tonight I should get enough love tokens, which is doing the dailies, to get the new Hearthstone. I've seen videos of it already. I'm not impressed by it, but I'm trying to get all the Hearthstones that I can at this point. Back in line way back there, yo, or whatever. So I leave space just in case. Today is Wednesday. I don't know what actual day it is, I just know it's Wednesday. Safe distance for proper traffic margins. These are how you create accidents. These are no good. Seconds behind that van in front of me. That's a safe distance. Is kind of better. It really should be more. It should be more like 10 seconds at this point, just because of how my tires are. Again, I have bad tires, but whatevs. 3 to 4 seconds is good enough for me to decide to go ditch the car in the ravine on the right. Now I go off into a cliff and die, then it cause someone else to have injuries as well in the same process.
of the legal profession.
Where a hardball trade negotiator is coming from on the next Morning Edition from NPR News.
Tune in weekday mornings beginning at 5 with Bill Burton on 89.3 WFPL. Good afternoon, everyone. To all things considered on 89.3 WFPL Louisville. I'm Jean West. In about 20 minutes, The Handmaid's Tale, the Hulu TV series based on Margaret Atwood's novel, came to Washington, D.C. to shoot a scene on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Extras gathered to portray the handmaids. That's coming up in 20 minutes.
Supporter 89.3 WFPL comes from Louisville Ballet, presenting a co-production with Louisville Visual Arts. The psychological drama Human Abstract, a modern dance and art collaboration created to excite the senses and push the boundaries. February 28th through March 3rd at the Baumhard Theater at the Kentucky Center. Tickets at LouisvilleBallet.org. From the Carnegie Center for Art and History, presenting the art of Ellen Lucille Allen, Sandra Charles, and Margaret Tyson Mosley. Work by 3 Louisville artists united by friendship and art. Opening February 22nd with a public reception. Details at CarnegieCenter.org.
49 degrees, rain ending tonight and heading to 36. It's 4:30.
From NPR News in Culver City, California, I'm Dwayne Brown. On a report from the Southern Poverty Law Center finds the number of hate groups here in the U.S. has reached a record level. NPR's Adrian Florido has this update.
The SPLC has tracked the spread of hate groups for many years. In 2018, the organization documented 1,020 active hate groups in the U.S., a 7% increase over the year before. The report says much of the increase has been driven by a surge of white nationalist and neo-Nazi groups that have appealed to young white men by concealing racism behind labels like identitarianism. Compare that to the KKK. The SPLC says it's lost more than half of its chapters since 2016, in part because many young racists view it as old-fashioned. Adrian Florido, NPR News, Los Angeles.
Survivors of clergy sexual abuse from the U.S. and around the world met with representatives of Pope Francis in Rome Eve, an unprecedented summit at the Vatican this week. Chilean abuse survivor Juan Carlos Cruz says it was an emotional weekend for everyone.
We feel that we represent so many survivors from all over the world. It's a heavy weight to have you carrying the think of all those people that are counting on you to make that positive change.
But many survivors, like Denise Buchanan, fear the global summit will be just an educational experience for bishops and denial.
It's like, oh, we already have the laws, we just need to implement the laws. Obviously, the laws aren't working because children are being raped right now. So what's the problem?
Some sex abuse survivors expressed frustration today that Pope Francis didn't attend. Stocks finished higher on Wall Street today after a batch of earnings reports. Energy and financial companies outweighed losses in healthcare and real estate. The Dow added 63 points, up 1%.
This spread's been pretty good so far. Nothing too unusual has been seen.
From the European Union approaches Denmark has taken a step toward securing the rights of British citizens living within its borders. Reporter Cecily Overgard has this report.
With Brexit just over a month away, the Danish government has proposed a law that would be unnecessary. That is, a temporary legal respite for the approximately 18,000 Brits living in Denmark. The law, which still needs the approval of Parliament, would essentially allow British citizens to carry on living lives in Denmark as is until they
is suing the Washington Post. The lawsuit accuses the newspaper of bullying the student Nicholas Sandmann with, quote, a modern form of McCarthyism. A controversial video showed Sandmann standing across from a Native American activist during a protest march. Later context revealed a much more complex nature of those events. Durgan Silver is a media law professor at the University of Denver. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Ray.
What is your initial impression of this lawsuit?
It's a long and complex lawsuit. It involves 7 different articles written by the Washington Post, as well as a number of tweets by the Washington Post, and it brings up some very that you are defending. And so the question will become, what type of plaintiff is this high school student? He's clearly not what we call a public official, somebody who works for the United States government or an elected official. He is probably not what is called an all-purpose public figure, which means that he is somebody who is widely known, has widespread fame or notoriety, or he has continuing news value. What the courts might decide is he's a type of plaintiff which is called a limited purpose public figure, and what kind of burden of proof does that place on the media organization when they are defending themselves in a lawsuit?
Because the media has more liberty to write things about the President of the United States than they do about some ordinary civilian who's not in the public eye.
Exactly. The Supreme Court has said that defamation lawsuits are really a balancing act. We balance your right to freedom of expression, Ari, as a reporter or as an individual, against my right to reputation, my right to my good name. And in normal situations where we're dealing with a private individual, well, the scales may tip a little bit more in favor of that private individual than they would in favor of you as a reporter. But when we're dealing with anybody who's a limited purpose public figure or an all-purpose public figure or a public official, well, then the scales are going to tip in favor of you, Ari, because the public has more of a legitimate interest in knowing what is going on with these individuals than it does in knowing what is going on with me as a private individual.
Social media is so central to this story. It's a key part of this lawsuit, and it's a key part of how this narrative spread, allowing people to jump to conclusions really quickly. How does that change the way a lawsuit like this plays out?
It's complicated. We're taking law that developed in the 1800s or really reached the Supreme Court in the 1960s, and we're trying to take that old law and we're trying to apply it to these very new, very novel situations. You know, it used to be that
it's an interesting drum thing they got up there on that vehicle. Hopefully we can catch up to it and
it
see
sort
it.
of calls into question, where did the damage happen? What is your community? And the court has said that we're not going to create brand new law for these areas. So we're going to take this law that was developed for the printing press, and we're going to take this law that was developed for broadcast news, and we're going to sort of try to shoehorn it into situations that are presented us by social media.
Let's take a step back for a moment. President Trump has talked about his wish to see libel laws changed to make it easier to sue media organizations. Just yesterday, Justice Clarence Thomas wrote a dissent, arguing that a case siding with the New York Times in such a lawsuit was wrongly decided. What do you make of the broader landscape right now?
These are very, very visible individuals with a lot of power in our society, calling into question the basic function of one of our fundamental institutions of democracy, and that is the press. And I think that those of us who believe that the press is a power of good and is a democratic necessity need to sort of stand up and start pushing back on this rhetoric and really saying, no, just because you don't like a story doesn't make it fake news. Just because you don't agree with how you're being covered and you don't like the coverage doesn't make it a false statement.
Durgan Silver is a media law professor at the University of Denver. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ari.
And now to the story of an Instagram and YouTube celebrity who sparked a dance craze. He's learning firsthand how tough it can be to turn internet fame into money. Stacey Vanek Smith and Shane McCann from our Planet Money Indicator team say his dilemma can be described in a single sentence.
Backpack Kid is suing Fortnite for stealing the floss.
That does not make sense.
I think we should just take this one down at a time. So let's start with Backpack Kid. He is this skinny teenager with long, bony arms.
And a backpack?
And a backpack.
Okay.
And a few years ago, he's living in Georgia, posting videos of himself dancing on Instagram. When all of a sudden, one of these videos goes viral, and it's so popular that Katy Perry invites him on and you swing them to and fro, and you're sort of flossing your hips. Anyway, the thing you have to know about Backpack Kid is he made the floss famous.
And that brings us to the next part of the sentence.
Fortnite. So Fortnite, it's like this online multiplayer battle royale game. You're on a team and you're trying to shoot the other team. But one of the things you can do in Fortnite is you can do these dances, like the floss.
Wow.
Fortnite is owned by this company called Epic Games, and one of the major ways Epic Games makes money off of Fortnite is by selling these dance upgrades. And so Backpack Kid, right, he looks at Fortnite and he sees this company making a ton of money by selling the dance he made famous, and he's like, I want some of that action. And so Backpack Kid is suing Epic Games, and some lawyers have gotten involved.
So we were talking about music.
This is David Adams, and he's one of Backpack Kid's lawyers.
If you had a song and they sampled from another song, I would say that that's copyright infringement.
And so Backpack Kid has filed for some copyrights, at least one of which has been granted, but that doesn't mean he owns that arm swinging move that all the kids are doing.
The copyright statute does protect what the statute calls choreographic works.
This is Jessica Lippman. She teaches law at the University of Michigan.
But it doesn't.
Real quick, dance and choreography and copyright laws is very complicated.
Lots of moves performed over time. So, like a 40-minute ballet. But a single dance move, that, Lippman says, is a building block.
And if you grant copyright protection for a single dance move, it could lead to some pretty weird scenarios.
Whenever anyone performed the floss on the dance floor at a club, Backpack Kid could bring suit against the club. The club would have to say to people, don't wave your arms.
The courts are going to have to decide, what does Backpack Kid actually own? And what is Epic using? Is it a dance move or an entire dance? The answer to these questions will determine what Epic owes Backpack Kid. If Epic owes Backpack Kid anything, Epic Games declined to comment.
In the meantime, Backpack Kid has taken up another pastime of young white teenagers who have gotten famous on the internet. He's trying to leverage his celebrity into a rap career.
Support for Planet Money comes from Hiscox, selling business insurance tailored to fit the needs of each small business. Quotes and information on insurance policies are available at hiscox.com. Hiscox, business insurance experts.
This is All Things Considered from NPR News. Some of the nation's most ambitious criminal justice reforms are happening in Philadelphia. That's where Larry Krasner is finishing his first year as district attorney. Despite mass incarceration, he's going to charge fewer people with crimes. Krasner's efforts are getting resistance from police officers, victim advocates, and the system.
Anywho, deuces, y'all. Deuces.